All right. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday, champions. Happy Sunday. How's everybody doing today? We'll give it 1 or 2 more minutes. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from. How are you doing on this amazing Sunday? I'm here, but I'm not alone. Twinkle is decided to keep me company as well, if you can see him there. So he thought he would join in on the Sunday call. I don't know whether he's got anything to share with you guys today, but time will tell. All right. Cyprus, very far away, Mola. Kenya, Zimbabwe. Hi, Lillian. Hi, Nita. Cape Town in South Africa. North of Sweden. How's the weather up there, Catherine? Is it really cold or you guys enjoying a long summer? Sweden, you guys must be excited, by the way. I mean, next weekend, Eric G doing the launch of Sweden. That's going to be huge. Uh, Uganda, how Lincoln, UK. Hearty greetings to you too, Lillian. Cyprus in the house, Romania, Dallas. Yes. You guys had minus last night. I mean, that's crazy. Like we got 25 degrees happening at nighttime. I would love a little bit of minus right now. I miss a little bit of winter. It's been a very long summer in Cyprus. Anyway, so today we're actually going to be talking about, well, you definitely need to grab a piece of paper and a pen. Today, we're going to talk about the 7 biggest killers in network marketing. You know, the 7 biggest mistakes that people make in network marketing that ultimately can kill their business. Because remember when I think on the call last week with Andrew Cuff, I said to you, I might talk a little bit about some of the mistakes that I made. And some of these mistakes that I made in network marketing, guys, are actually connected to the 7 deadliest mistakes. Now, I would hate to break it to you, but I made a lot more mistakes than 7. I can tell you that right now. So if that gives you a little bit of confidence, if you've made some mistakes and maybe you got a bit frustrated and maybe you lost a little bit of time in your business, believe me, I've made all the mistakes. But what I want to go through today is the 7 biggest mistakes. These are the most common mistakes that people make. And the things that when you catch yourself doing one of these, then you're going to realize that it may not affect your business straight away, but in network marketing, there's always a lag time. So what you're doing today, you're going to earn the paycheck from the activity that you're doing right now 90 to 120 days from today. So if you're not happy with your paycheck right now, what were you doing 90 days ago? Some of you are not even 90 days old, okay? There's a lag time. It's like the farmer with planting the seeds. The farmer plants the seeds and understands he has to go through the different seasons before he's able to enjoy the harvest. Same in network marketing, same in any type of sales, by the way. Okay, I've been in sales and marketing, oh my goodness, like 30 years. I've been in sales and network marketing. Some of it as an amateur and a lot of it as a professional. One of my clients that, as you know, one of my businesses is real estate. I told you, Twinkie might get up in a minute. One of my businesses is real estate. I had clients that I basically spoke to that were going to list properties a year ago and they didn't do it and they're coming back right now, but I kept the relationship. Same in network marketing. Sometimes you got to show people the presentation and maybe they're not going to get started, but 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. If you keep investing in the relationship, those seeds are going to bear fruit. Those people are going to come back. Maybe it was the wrong time for them then, but maybe in a few months it's gonna be the right time. Anyway, so we're gonna start with the 7 deadliest mistakes, the 7 biggest killers in network marketing. So number 1, know why. They say that, you might have heard this many, many times, but to be perfectly honest with you, I was that person that didn't really have a why when I got started in network marketing. I knew what I wanted, but there's a difference between knowing what you want and having a why that motivates you so much that you're willing to run through walls, you're willing to overcome obstacles, you're willing to basically fight for it. Now, when I got started in network marketing, Twinkle, sit down, boy. When I got started in network marketing, I got started because I understood residual income and I wanted residual income. That's it. And I remember going to trainings and they're saying, if you don't have a why that makes you cry, it's just not big enough. Sorry. And I'm like, my why doesn't make me cry, but I still want to make residual income. Here's what they really mean though. When they say, if your why doesn't make you cry, if you can't get emotional about a reason that you want to build this business, like if you don't stand for something essentially so strong, you'll fall for anything. Your why is the pillar of strength that's going to give you the courage to fight when you're facing the disappointments, when you're facing the challenges. Now, my why was the residual income, but it wasn't really a why, it was a motivation. The why, which is what hurts you, what was hurting me, and when I really identified that, and I might have mentioned it last week on the call, was not being able to spend time with people that I loved. That lack of time, of chasing things all the time and not being able to be present, missing birthdays, missing significant dates with people that I love because I couldn't take the time off from work. I couldn't be there. That's the thing that caused me so much pain. And remember, I told there's 2 ways to get motivated, right? One is towards pleasure, the other one is to avoid pain. For me, it was the avoidance of pain. So let me ask you something, right? What is a reason that you can get emotional about in terms of building this business? What is a reason that you're willing to fight and overcome obstacles when it gets uncomfortable while building Viago? Put in the chat, actually, something that you can get really passionate about because it's so important to you that you get emotional just thinking about it. Thank you, Lena. So financial freedom is great, but here's the thing that you gotta ask yourself, Lena. What is the financial freedom gonna enable you to do that right now you can't do because you don't have the finances that you want? Nisa, your niece and your nephews. Yep, I totally get that, my dear. Having insufficient money. Freedom to help my daughter and my mother. Having nothing to live for my son. So now we're getting somewhere, right? Like now we're getting to some core things that people can get passionate about. Retire my husband, freedom to travel the world, moving to a better place, helping my family, build a pension fund. Absolutely. Spending time with my children and grandchildren. There you go. Do you see, right? That some of these things involving other things except us. See, it's easier, and I know I keep saying this, but it's so true. We give up on us. We give up on ourselves, don't we? But if someone says to you, give up on your son, give up on your daughter, give up on your husband, give up on your wife, would you? Absolutely not, right? You don't give up on the people that you love, but a lot of us love ourselves last. Am I right? You know, it rings true, doesn't it? Okay. We care, but we care more about other people that we love. So if we know that at least that gives us leverage, doesn't it make sense in order to make the why about all the things that matter to you that you're willing to fight for, even if it means nephews, nieces, father, mother, daughter, son, husbands, wives, whatever. All these people that we love, identify, I have no idea what happened with that, but anyway, identify what are the things that you want to give them, that you're willing to fight for, and put that as part of your why. Guys, when I sat there and I wrote down, and it was two things, for me was having a strong enough reason where I wanted to fire my boss. And I'll tell you, the thing that really stood in my mind was the one time, I think I've shared with you the story when I lost my grandfather. I'll never forget it. It was a Sunday. We were in Chinatown in London. I went there with my cousin, and all of a sudden I get a phone call. And it's from my dad, and he's like, look, I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want you to worry, but your grandfather just passed, and we're gonna do the funeral on Tuesday. And this is on a Sunday. And he's like, I didn't want you to worry, you don't need to come. I know you're busy. And I'm thinking, what are you talking about? I can't miss my grandfather's funeral. So I hang up the phone, I called my boss, and I said, look, unfortunately, I've lost my grandfather. I'm just going to go home right now, and I'm going to look for flights, and I'm going to fly to Cyprus ASAP because I need to be there for the funeral. My boss was like, Efrosyni, we have such a crazy week. We got so many campaigns coming out. I was, running a radio PR agency. I had 40 people reporting to me. I was essentially the associate director of the agency. And we had multiple campaigns happening at that week because it was the end of October. We were getting ready for the run up to Christmas. None of it mattered. I didn't care. I just literally told my boss, he's like, you can't go. And then he put his foot down. He's like, I'm not allowing you to go. And like, if you really want to get on my wrong side, tell me what I'm not allowed to do and watch me do it. Okay. Like, literally, that was enough for me to just subconsciously make a decision that was the last time that I was going to let anybody tell me what I was allowed and not allowed to do for the people that I love. And I said, listen, I'm going. And I literally booked a flight. I didn't care. I turned off my phone. I was willing to suffer the consequences because I couldn't miss my grandfather's funeral. My grandfather, and I've always been really, really close to my grandparents. But this memory, when I realized and connected to my why, this memory was the thing that I held on to when I said that feeling of being told, no, you can't get time off. No, you can't go. That feeling was the thing that used to fire me up in order to make another phone call, do another presentation, get my time back, get closer to that point where I can basically let go of my boss. So, that's the difference between I want money and residual income to I am passionate about doing this because an emotional reason. Is this making sense? Okay, so number 2 mistake, number 2 biggest killer, fire hosing. Now, what is fire hosing? Fire hosing is what a lot of people do, and I did this as well. A lot of people do instead of inviting. Fire hosing is when you're saying so much information, you're literally puking the information on your prospects instead of following the system and doing the invitation correct. Now, moment of truth. How many of you, let's see who's honest here, have said too much in your invitations before? Right? Yes or no? Let's see who's honest. How many of you have said too much in your invitation? Good. We have some honest people. See, everybody has done it. Okay? So when you tell people, here's how you invite, think the people listen, and everything that, yes, I've said too much in the invitation. Listen, you're going to make these mistakes. Accept that you're going to make these mistakes. And that's okay that you're going to make these mistakes. The key thing is, don't make the same mistakes over and over again. Okay? Make fresh ones. There's plenty of fresh mistakes to make. Okay? But don't keep making the same ones. Now, the thing is, I remember my first invitation, they said, if you've spoken for more than 30 seconds, you said too much. Guess how long my first invitation was? 45 minutes. Now, that was to my best friend. I worked with her in the same office, the last job that I had. We were working together in the same office, and I was just so excited. And I just literally called her, and because we always complained about it, because we had the same boss, right? And we always complained about the boss and how tired we were, and we talked about living the job and creating our own business, and we both love to travel. So I literally called her and I'm like, Katie, I found it. This is it. We're going to travel the world. We're going to make millions of dollars. We're going to fire our boss. We're going to, and she's like, what are you talking about? I said, there's this thing, and you can travel and you get paid money. And then you build a team. And then she started asking me all these questions. And naturally, when people ask you questions, what do? You answer the questions. So one question led to another question, to another question. Next thing you know, it's 45 minutes later. And she's like, I think you've gone crazy. I gotta go. And she hung up the phone. Now, the next day, remember, I had 40 people who were working in the office, and all of them were reporting to me. The next day, she goes to the office and she goes, oh, Efrosyni, I think, signed up to this pyramid deal. She's probably going to call you and tell you about it. I think she's losing the plot a little bit. Now, this is my best friend. Now, she didn't do it to be mean. She was just having a little bit of a laugh with some people in the office. Okay, but clearly it burned to everybody out the office because, when I try to call some people in the office to show them what I was getting up to, they're like, yeah, Katie told us about the pyramid deal. Okay, so I was living in London for a few months. My network was like literally my main friends were two types of people. The ones I worked in the office with, and some of my clients, so they were all work related, and some of the people that I met at a property mentorship group that I was doing. The rest of the network was in Cyprus, in Greece, in Australia, in countries we hadn't even launched yet. Okay, so Was that Katie's fault, by the way? No, my fault. If I hadn't firehosed Katie, now listen to this crazy thing, right? I was so upset with Katie, it affected our friendship for a while, and then I let it go. And we continue to become friends, but I never showed her the company because my ego was bruised. 9 years later, by then I'd moved to Australia, I traveled the world, she saw how much my life changed. 9 years later, we're sitting down, we had a couple of drinks, and she turned around, she goes, how come you never showed me that amazing company that you're a part of? She didn't connect the dots. She saw my life changed, and she didn't realize that first phone call that I made was just such a bad attempt to try to show her this company. So who knows? Like, maybe she could have been the person that also changed her life, like how I changed my life. But I robbed her of the opportunity to see this with an open mind. This is what you got to remember when you're fire hosing people. You're doing two things when you're fire hosing people. Number one, you're robbing them of the opportunity to see this with an open mind. So your network, your friends, the people that you're calling, you're doing them a disservice. The second thing is you're also creating bad duplication. Okay? Because remember, whatever you do with your friends, they're going to do with their people, right? Everything duplicates. Good things, bad things. The bad things duplicate faster, believe me. Okay? So that was number 2, fire hosing. Number 3, managing your team. In network marketing, we don't manage people, we lead people. Okay? I see so many people making this mistake. They go, oh, all I have to do is I just have to get my 6. And then I'm going to manage them to get their 6, and they're going to get their 6, and they're going to get their 6. And in 6 months, I'm going to have 10,000 people in my team. Now, if you've been around the block a little bit, you know that that doesn't happen. Okay? You sponsor a few people. While you're helping them sponsor a few people, you also keep sponsoring people. When you stop sponsoring people, your team will also stop sponsoring people. It's that simple. If you want your team to sponsor new people, you have to sponsor new people. We never stop sponsoring, guys. Literally, like, one thing that I learned from my mentor is that every single time that I wanted to rank up, I was a few personals away from the next rank. The people that took you to bronze may not be the same people that will take you to silver, and may not be the same people that will take you to gold. That doesn't mean that some of your team is not going to be with you for the long haul. But the thing is, some people are just motivated for a season. Some people are motivated to take action for 2-3 months, and then they coast, they relax. And if you're sitting there waiting for your team to produce so you can rank up, you're putting things outside of your control. The more things you can control, the faster it is to get to your business to where you want to go. You can't control what people do. You can lead people the right direction, but you can always control what you do. Like, how many phone calls are you making per day? How many invitations are you doing on a daily basis? How many presentations are you doing on a daily basis? That you can control. Okay? Now, you can hold your team accountable. You can have regular calls with your team and ask them, hey, and this is the thing, the way to lead your team, by the way, guys, all right? Especially when you're in the trenches, okay? That may change when you get to a certain level, but while you're in the trenches, until you get to diamond, blue diamond in the higher ranks. The main thing is it's always talking about what's going on with the team that you're working with. Tell them stories. Hey, I just got off the phone from example, from Helen right now. Helen's in Zambia right now. She's actually going to do a meeting with someone that is very high caliber. We're going to talk in a little bit. She's literally got a couple of people that are getting very, very close to rank up to silver this month. Also, one person that's going to rank up to gold. This is what's happening. Tell me about what's going on with your team. Hey, I just got off the phone from a presentation. I just enrolled a new personal. How's things going with you? Do you see the difference that if you're asking those kind of questions, as opposed to, hey, what did you do in your business today? Right? One thing comes from a leadership perspective. The other conversation comes from a management perspective, which almost feels like having a boss. Nobody likes to have a boss, but a lot of people need to be led. Do you see the difference? Like I literally, this afternoon, I just spent a good 45 minutes, close to an hour, talking to Matt Morris. He's in Puerto Rico right now. He just finished doing a Super Saturday today. And we're just kind of like mapping out the next few months. And we have these regular calls with Matt, and we're kind of holding each other accountable in our own little way. Like everybody needs somebody that's going to be holding them accountable. But if you're managing your team, that means you're telling your team to do things you're not doing. Only expect from your team what you're already doing yourself. Bomba? Yes? Okay. So, killer number 4. Disconnecting from the system. We have an amazing system that we put together because essentially when you're staying close to the fire, your dreams stay warm. Okay, when you're staying close to people that are also running the same race as you, that energy, that frequency, it rubs off on each other. Okay, and this is the reason that we also have these nightly presentations, weekly trainings. Every quarter we're doing a big training. I know that you guys are excited for Barcelona. I'm excited for Barcelona. I'm really looking forward to Barcelona. I'm looking forward to the escape as well, by the way. It is meant to go live, was meant to go live on Friday, hasn't yet. I do hope it's going to go live tomorrow, guys. I apologize for the delays. We did run into some glitches. I know it's not fun when you run into some glitches, but having said that, it's also part of the growing pains of being a startup, because we are a startup, okay? But let's go back in terms of, disconnecting from the system. We have this system because we know that motivation is temporary. Like people come to these big events, they get excited, they get motivated, but motivation is temporary. What is not temporary is your commitment. If you're really truly committed to your goal, you're going to build it whether you're motivated or not motivated to do it. But we have this system because we know that when you're around the campfire and you keep hearing the stories and you keep seeing the new people rising, the new people ranking up, and then we have this weekly calls, the more you're around this, the more that you're going to stay focused on where you're going. But here's what's going to happen. What if you start unplugging for a few days? At the beginning, you're not going to feel the difference. It's almost like you're going to the gym consistent and then you say, look, I'm going to just take a few days break from the gym. Okay. I've done that a few times. In fact, I've just literally the last 2 weeks got it back to working out after having a very long break. And I'll tell you what, it takes a while in order to create that muscle, but you can lose it quite quickly, and the motivation, that mojo, in order to get back into it, it takes a little while. The problem is when you get back into it, you don't start from where you left off. You have gone backwards a few steps. Okay? So what you got to do is that you got to warm up again until you get back to the starting point of where you were. And this is the thing that I see a lot of people making as a mistake, is that they unplug for a while. They're like, oh, I'm just not going to invite for a few days. So I'm just going to skip a few Zooms. I'm just going to skip a couple of trainings. But the next thing you know, a few weeks have gone past, and now your invitation is a bit rusty. Your closing is a bit rusty. And you got to get back into the swing of things before you can get your skills back to where they were. So it's like you've taken 5 steps forward and 7 steps back. You guys with me? It's easier to slow down rather than pause. Like, let's say you've been running really, really hard and you feel exhausted. Let's say you've been doing 3 presentations a day, okay? And you're exhausted. No problem. Take a few weeks where you go from 3 presentations a day to 2 presentations a day or 1 presentation a day. But keep the energy flowing, okay? The other thing is that when you're also unplugging, so is your team. Now, we see this, right? Because a lot of people tell me, oh, Efrosyni, it's summer right now. Okay, and I understand there's summer right now. Do you know some of the biggest people in terms of ranks that we have recruited in network marketing in the last 16 years said the majority of them came during the summer period or the Christmas period? I'll never forget the first $1 million earner that I had in my organization was a young guy that was 22 years old when they joined. And I remember everybody was like December 2009. And some of my leaders got together and they were like, hey, Efrosyni, it's Christmas right now. And I think that what we should do is that, we should take a couple of weeks break. It's Christmas. People are going to be with their families. Let's take a couple of weeks break and then we can start the presentations again on the 5th of January. And this was the 18th of December. I said to them, guys, this is the first Christmas that we're building this business. We're not going to pause. We're going to keep doing presentations. Now, if you want to pause, that's your choice. But there's people hungry here to change their life, and I don't want to slow down for them. We'll take Christmas Day off. We'll take Boxing Day, and we'll take New Year's Eve and New Year's Day off. The rest of the days we were doing presentations. On the 22nd of December, we had a presentation, and this guy signed up. In fact, it was 3 of them. We used to call them the 3 Musketeers. It was 3 of them that signed up that night. And those guys, literally from December until February, built a team of 500 people. And those guys, for a while, were the fastest growing leaders in our organization and became the first people outside of the US to make $1 million a year and to hit the highest rank in the company. Now imagine if we said, hey, it's the holidays. Let's take the time off. The reason that it was the holidays, these guys used to work a lot of hours, but because they had some time off during the holidays, that's why they were actually able to come to the presentation. See, this is one of the reasons I love building during the holidays, because some people switch off in the holidays. And you know what it is? When people have a relaxed mind, they're more receptive. Like right now, it's summer holidays in Cyprus. Some people are at the beach. Yeah, you know what's cool? Take your iPad, push play on a video on the beach. Who says that you have to do this business just on Zoom? You have the video. Put the video on your phone and you can literally show, like Stalo. Stalo was at the beach yesterday And she called me from the beach yesterday because she showed a presentation to a girl from Congo in Cyprus at the beach yesterday. You know, Stalo is like literally a great example of someone that is doing it whenever, wherever, she doesn't care. She's at the beach. She's literally picking up the kids from school. She's waiting for the kids to finish their tutoring lessons. She's on the phone. She's making things happen. So use this opportunity while people are in holiday mode. Start asking them what it would be like if they could enjoy more holidays on a yearly basis. Are they excited to go back to their job, or are they open to opportunity? Right? Do you know the two biggest times in recruitment every single year is straight after the summer holidays, September, October, November, and January, February? You know why? Because when most people have time off and they decompress, they start thinking about, am I happy doing what I'm doing right now, or should I do something different? And if you've already planted the seed with them, guess what? September, October, November, you're going to start bringing in the harvest. You guys with me? So I know that was an extended version of disconnecting from the system, but building during the summer holidays, guys, is fantastic. Now, number 5, biggest killer. I think I spoke a little bit about this on last week's training as well, which was one of my biggest mistakes: being uncoachable. Being uncoachable. Even when I thought I was coachable, on reflection, there's times that I was uncoachable. My mentor would say to me, hey, you know, here's how you need to run a meeting. And I'd be like, okay, yep, sounds good. And then in my head, I'd be like, yeah, but in Cyprus, people are a little bit different. So I'm gonna jazz it up a little bit. And I was thinking I was being uncoachable, but here's the thing, right? Building this business when you're learning from the mentors, guys, is like getting the ultimate recipe book, right? If you got a recipe book and you're trying to bake a cake, maybe you're trying to, you know, actually, this is embarrassing, but, you know, today I wanted to make a stir fry, right? I love stir fry. I love Chinese food. Had everything. Got one ingredient: rice. You can have rice or noodles, you know? I look in the cupboard, no rice, no noodles. But guess what? There was quinoa. Let me tell you, quinoa and stir-fried chicken does not go. Okay. Now, it's one ingredient. Okay. It's one ingredient. That was the only difference. But that one ingredient really made the meal, the difference between enjoying the meal as opposed to, all right, I gotta eat it because it's bad to waste food. Okay. Like, literally, you can follow the recipe for anything, but if you change one ingredient, it's not going to give you the same result. The same thing, recipe for quinoa. The same thing in this business. Okay. You know, like you can't, for example, do the right invitation, but, you know, not follow the system on the presentations, or not ask the closing questions, or not get people to training. Like literally, guys, there's 5 key things that you got to focus on and getting good at in this business: inviting, presenting, closing, getting people started, and promoting. 5 key things. Some of you are doing 4 fantastic, but you're missing the 5th. Like some of you are literally, you're great at inviting, you're great at presenting, you're great at getting people in the team, but you're not bringing people to the events. Right? And you're missing the X factor. Some of you are great at coming to the events, but you're not inviting new people. You guys with me? Like no matter what you miss from the recipe, if you miss one element from the recipe, the business is not going to give you the results that you want. So being coachable means listening to the mentors, listening to the leaders, okay? Because essentially, here's what you got to remember. This is what my mentor told me. He said, when you make money, I make money. Like, same with you guys. When you guys make money, we make money. So what does that mean? That means our job is to help you make money as fast as possible, because the faster you make money, the faster we all win. If you don't win, nobody wins. Right? So that's why we're doing these trainings, to show you the right way in order to get the best results. Number 6, stop investing in yourself. This is another killer. Some people get started in network marketing, and at the beginning, they're like, oh, I'll listen to the audios, I'll plug on the webinars, I'll read the books. And then at some point, they stop investing in themselves. They stop attending the trainings. They stop reading the books. They procrastinate on personal development. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my favorite list. I have a list that literally got given to me when I first got started in network marketing, and it's basically the 5 levels of leadership that you're going to go through in network marketing, and the best books to read based on the level that you're actually in your business. I'm going to post that list on the Team Up Facebook group. This is the first list that I started reading of books in network marketing. I highly, 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 highly recommend you guys, if you're not on Inner Circle, get on Inner Circle. Start listening to the audios, especially before you're about to do a presentation. Listen to an audio, get the mindset wired correctly, then go into the presentation prepared. When you're driving, get the books, read the books, 10 pages a day. Every day, 10 pages, 10 pages. Once you build the muscle, trust me, you don't go back. Like for me, I don't care if I'm on holidays. Like this morning, I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I could not sleep. Okay. Woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning. You know what I did? At 4 o'clock in the morning, I did my morning routine. I walked downstairs, I made my coffee, started reading my book without thinking about it. It's on autopilot now, because I've been doing it for so many years that every single morning I start with reading 10 pages of a good book. It might be 20 pages. So never stop investing in yourself, okay? And number 7, lucky last, this is the number 1 killer in network marketing, which is quitting. This is the only way that you can fail in network marketing, guys, is if you quit. That's the only way you can fail. Nobody can fire you. Nobody can fire you in network marketing. And every single one of you guys will have different times that you're going to succeed in network marketing. Some of you will be straight out of the gate. Some of you will take a little bit longer. But if you quit, you're never going to know what you're capable of. And you may not quit physically, but sometimes you may quit mentally. You may quit doing the presentations, doing the invitations. You're there, but you're not really there. And that's the countdown clock starts. When you start justifying about why you're not taking the action that you want to take, the activity that you want to take, that you want to do. Here's the thing. They say that the average person that continues to take action consistently for 5 years in network marketing, consistently, same company, minimum 1 presentation a day, is going to be in the 0.1% of network marketers in the world. It's not much. One presentation a day, consistently, for 5 years. Some of you may take 3 years, some of you may take 2 years. But the next 5 years are going to go so quick anyway, guys. What if in the next 2 years, I'm not telling you to get into the 0.1% in network. What if in the next, but remember, every single time that you pause, restart, you're always going back to the starting line. You're not going back to where you started. So stay consistent, stay focused on your why. Remember what we started the training with tonight. Get the why that you can get emotional about, because the challenges are going to come. If you was easy, everybody would be doing it. It's challenging to be a top leader in network marketing. It's challenging to be top at any profession that you do. But that's what makes it worth it. Bomba. So another presentation starting in 10 minutes, guys. It's the best time to do some last minute invitations. Get some people in front of Harriet. She's a powerhouse. She's making some really great things happen all around Africa. And I appreciate you guys. Not long to go to a reunite in Barcelona. If you haven't booked your ticket for Barcelona, make sure you get booked. The Escape is going to come out soon, and I look forward to hanging out with you guys. I look forward to building amazing stories with you guys, and I look forward to traveling with you guys. Have an amazing week.